Welcome back to 10-Minute Timelines. The year is 1940. Europe stands on the precipice of monumental change. World War II is in its infancy, but the shadow of the swastika already stretches ominously across Europe, casting a dark pall over the continent. The German war machine under the iron fist of Adolf Hitler had just crushed Poland, plunging the continent into chaos and uncertainty. But Hitler's ambitions stretched far beyond Poland. His eyes were set on broader horizons. He had a keen eye on Scandinavia, a region of immense strategic importance, both geographically and economically. Denmark and Norway, though officially neutral, were pivotal to Hitler's strategy. Norway, in particular, provided access to the transportation routes of Swedish iron ore shipments, a resource critical for Germany's war machine. Control over Norway's long and rugged coastline also offered the Kriegsmarine, Germany's navy, crucial naval bases from which to challenge Allied dominance at sea. Operation Weserübung, named after the Weser River in Germany, was the brainchild of this grand ambition, meticulously planned to ensure swift success. It was a daring and audacious plan, a two-pronged invasion of both Denmark and Norway, designed to outmaneuver the Allies and secure vital resources for the German war machine. What unfolded was a testament to German military prowess, but also to the courage and tenacity of the Danish and Norwegian people, who, though ill-prepared for a conflict of this scale, resisted valiantly against overwhelming odds, showcasing their indomitable spirit. In the prelude to war, Denmark, a small nation with a proud Viking heritage, clung desperately to its neutrality. Bound by a non-aggression pact with Germany, the Danes believed, perhaps naively, that they could weather the storm engulfing Europe. Denmark's military, modest in size and ill-equipped to repel a full-scale German invasion, reflected this hope for peace. Norway, too, was a nation unprepared for the maelstrom of war. Situated strategically in northern Europe, Norway had adopted a policy of armed neutrality, hoping to deter any aggression. However, their military was similarly unprepared for a conflict with a power like Germany. The Norwegian landscape, a tapestry of rugged mountains, deep fjords and icy waters, presented unique challenges for any invading force. It was a double-edged sword, offering both natural defenses and limited avenues for attack. At the heart of Hitler's northern strategy lay a potent mixture of economic necessity and military opportunism. The iron ore mines of Sweden, a lifeline for Germany's wartime industry, were a prize too tempting to ignore. Control of Norway would effectively sever this lifeline, crippling Germany's ability to wage war. The Kriegsmarine, eager to challenge British naval supremacy in the North Sea, saw the strategic value of Norway's extensive coastline. Well-placed naval bases along the Norwegian coast could provide crucial staging grounds for German U-boats and warships, threatening Allied shipping lanes and potentially turning the tide of the naval war. The element of surprise, a cornerstone of German military doctrine, was also paramount. By swiftly occupying Denmark and Norway, Hitler aimed to present the Allies with a fait accompli, much as he had done in Poland. The invasion began in the early hours of April 9, 1940, as German forces swiftly moved into Denmark and naval units approached Norway's coastline. German forces crossed the Danish border, meeting minimal resistance. The speed and ferocity of the assault shocked the Danish government and military command, who were caught completely off guard. Simultaneously, a German naval task force, spearheaded by the mighty battleship Blücher, steamed towards Oslo, the Norwegian capital. Despite encountering fierce resistance from the aging guns of Oscarsborg fortress, which sank the Blücher and delayed the German advance, the Germans eventually captured Oslo. Paratroopers descended upon key airfields and strategic locations, their sudden appearance adding to the chaos and confusion. The element of surprise, a hallmark of German military doctrine, had once again paid off. A king's defiance. The Norwegian resistance ignites. While Denmark, overwhelmed and outmatched, surrendered within hours, Norway chose the path of resistance. King Haakon VII, refusing to bow to German pressure, issued a stirring call to arms, urging his countrymen to fight for their freedom. In the face of overwhelming odds, Norwegian soldiers, often poorly equipped and outnumbered, fought with tenacity and courage. They were joined by British, French and Polish troops who rushed to aid the Norwegian resistance. The rugged terrain of Norway, while a logistical nightmare for the defenders, also proved to be a formidable obstacle for the invading Germans. For over 2 months, the battle for Norway raged, a testament to the resilience and fighting spirit of the Norwegian people. Iron fist in a velvet glove. The German occupation begins. Despite fierce resistance and Allied intervention, German military might ultimately prevailed. The German forces, with their superior tactics and overwhelming firepower, managed to break through the defences that had been hastily set up by the Allies. By early June 1940, with the fall of Narvik, a strategic port in northern Norway, the campaign was effectively over. This marked a significant turning point in the war, as control over Narvik meant control over vital resources. The Germans had achieved their objectives, securing the iron ore route from Sweden and establishing a significant military presence in Scandinavia. This not only bolstered their war effort but also ensured a steady supply of crucial materials. However, the victory came at a cost. The battles were fierce and both sides suffered heavy casualties. The landscape was scarred and the human toll was immense. The Kriegsmarine, while successful in achieving its objectives, suffered significant losses, including the sinking of the Blücher. This loss was a blow to the German naval capabilities. These losses would have strategic implications later in the war, as the Kriegsmarine's surface fleet was weakened. The reduced naval strength would limit their operations in the Atlantic and beyond. With the occupation came a brutal new reality for the people of Denmark and Norway. Daily life was overshadowed by the constant presence of German soldiers and the harsh policies imposed by the occupiers. The Germans installed puppet governments, suppressed dissent with an iron fist, and exploited the resources of their conquered territories. The local populations faced severe restrictions, and any form of resistance was met with brutal reprisals. Echoes of valor, lasting impacts, and strategic implications. Operation Weserübung, though often overshadowed by the larger conflicts of World War II, had far-reaching consequences. It exposed the vulnerability of neutral countries in the face of Nazi aggression, demonstrating that even neutrality was no guarantee of safety. The campaign also highlighted the strategic importance of Scandinavia, both for its resources and its geographic location. Control of Norway gave Germany a crucial advantage in the Battle of the Atlantic, allowing U-boats to operate with greater freedom and wreaking havoc on Allied shipping lanes. The Norwegian resistance, though ultimately unsuccessful in repelling the German invasion, served as an inspiration to occupied nations across Europe. It demonstrated that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit of resistance could not be extinguished. A forgotten front remembering Operation Weserübung. Operation Weserübung, though a pivotal chapter in World War II, often finds itself relegated to the footnotes of history. The speed of the German victory, the relatively short duration of the campaign, and the sheer scale of the conflict on other fronts have all contributed to its obscurity. However, it is vital to remember the sacrifices made by the Danish and Norwegian people during this tumultuous period. Their stories of resilience, courage, and resistance serve as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can endure. Moreover, understanding the strategic context and implications of Operation Weserübung provides valuable insights into the broader narrative of World War II. It highlights the crucial role that seemingly peripheral theatres of war can play in shaping the course of global conflicts. Conclusion: the shifting tides of war. The German invasion of Denmark and Norway, a daring gamble in the early stages of World War II, ultimately proved to be a strategic victory for Hitler's Third Reich. This bold move allowed Germany to gain a significant foothold in Scandinavia, altering the balance of power in the region. It secured vital resources, provided crucial naval bases, and ensured control over key maritime routes which were essential for the war effort, and demonstrated the terrifying effectiveness of German military might. The quick and decisive actions of the German forces showcased their tactical superiority and instilled fear across Europe. However, the invasion also sowed the seeds of future challenges. The occupation of these countries was not without its costs and complications. The losses incurred by the Kriegsmarine, particularly the sinking of the Blücher, would have long-term consequences for Germany's naval ambitions. These setbacks hindered their ability to project naval power effectively. The fierce resistance put up by the Norwegians, aided by their allies, tied down German troops and resources that could have been deployed elsewhere. This resistance movement grew stronger over time, becoming a significant thorn in the side of the German occupiers. Moreover, the invasion hardened Allied resolve, shattering any illusions about Nazi Germany's willingness to respect neutrality. The brutal tactics employed by the Germans galvanized the Allied forces, uniting them in their determination to defeat the Axis powers. It marked a turning point in the war, drawing Scandinavia firmly into the vortex of conflict and setting the stage for the long and arduous struggle for liberation that lay ahead. The events in Denmark and Norway would echo throughout the war, influencing strategies and outcomes in the years to come.